What's going on YouTube? This is 903 Fishing. Today I'm going to be showing you how I rig up my slip cork setup for crappie, especially in deeper waters, mainly to fish over brush piles. I want to start off by saying I'm not saying this is the only way, the correct way to do this. I'm saying that this is how I do it. I've had a lot of success with it, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully y'all have the same success that I do. Let's get into it. Here's all what you need for this slip cork setup. You're gonna need a bobber stop, okay? You can buy these at Walmart or pretty much any tackle store. And you're gonna need a bead, little green bead right here. The beads and the bobber stops usually come in the same package, okay? They're fairly cheap as well. You're gonna need a barrel swivel, not a big one, just a little barrel swivel. You're gonna need 2 split shots. I believe these are number 5s. Crappie hook, and you're gonna need, of course, your slip cork. Now guys, I'm rigging this up for minnows, to use minnows, okay? You can also put the jig head instead of the hook. And then of course, if you have a heavy enough jig head, you're not gonna wanna use these split shots. But since I'm not using a jig head, I'm gonna use the split shot. That's the first step, is you're gonna get your bobber stop, okay? You're gonna put the tag end of your line through that bobber stop, okay? Now you're gonna wanna give yourself a few feet of slack, okay? Now guys, first, I am left-handed, so most people are right-handed, okay? So this might look weird. Just switch it up with your right hand if that's what you're more comfortable with. You're gonna wanna take the thread off of the little plastic tube towards the tag end of the line, not towards your pole, but towards the tag end, okay? Now these have a little split in them right here, so the tube part just comes off, so you don't need that no more. Now what you're gonna do is, these 2 ends of this thread, you're gonna wanna pull tight. Now don't pull as tight as you can, just make a pretty good little knot, just like so. So you have your bobber stop on there in a little knot, okay? That should be where you're at right now. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is go back to the tag end, okay? Go back to the tag end, you're gonna get your little bead. You're gonna put that bead on, go ahead and pull it through. See, it's up to my bobber stop. After the bead, you're gonna put your slip cork in, okay? Be sure you start to put the slip cork, the line in the slip cork on the smaller hole. Don't start at the bottom of the slip cork. Make sure you're at the top. And you're gonna want that to go all the way through. See, it's done came out the other side. So I'm gonna pull it just like that. Go ahead and get it up. There we go. Once the slip cork is on, you're gonna get your barrel swivel right here, okay? And you're just gonna tie you a knot. Guys, I'm not real fancy with my knots. This is braid that I'm using for one, so it's not like I have to be extremely precautious with my knots, okay? I'm gonna tie this on there about 3 to 4 times. Nice and tight. Like I said, whatever knot you prefer, Palomar, fisherman's knot, either one will work, whichever one suits you best. All right, now I done tied that on there. Now, once again, I'm gonna clip the excess off of this barrel swivel, okay? All right, so we got our barrel swivel on, guys. Now, this is the part where it gets interesting. You got your barrel swivel tied on. Now the next thing we're gonna do is make our leader, okay? Now I already have about 2 feet off right here. I took about 2 feet off. Now I use mono for my leader, okay? Ever since I started using this mono for my leader, I have caught more fish, okay? So maybe they just can't see it as well, which is a good thing. All right, guys, once again, now I am tying my leader, one end of the leader, to the other end of the barrel swivel, okay? And once again, I'm not fancy with my knots. Now, another reason why I use this leader, and this is probably one of the most important, especially if you're fishing brush piles, okay? If you get hung up with this braid on, remember I have 10-pound braid right here. If you get hung up with this braid, it's gonna, more than likely, your line is gonna break in one or two places. It's gonna break where the mono meets the barrel swivel, or it's gonna break down here in a minute when we tie the hook on. That's where it's gonna break at. So you're not gonna lose your whole rig. Worst case scenario, you need to tie on a new leader and then another hook, and that's it, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this finished right here. And then once you get that done, of course, you need to trim off the extra. Just like that. Now, you don't want this leader just extremely long. You don't want it too long. I usually want mine about 18 inches, okay? So go ahead, that's about right. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to tie our hook on, okay? Tie that hook on the best that you can. Whatever knot works best for you guys, all right? You know, a lot of people think you got to have a certain knot. Well, not necessarily. It depends on a lot of things, okay? And also, I'm trying not to take up too much time tying knots. You know, I'm trying to get to the point. So I would typically tie my knots a little better than this, guys, okay? All right, now, once again, take off that excess. The last step, you're gonna have your 2 split shots, okay? Now, I put mine almost right above that barrel swivel, okay? Now, you can get some pliers, or you can press them down with your, I wouldn't recommend your teeth, but not to say I don't do it, but you're gonna put your 2 split shots on right there, right above that barrel swivel, okay? One more reason why I prefer the split shots to be above the barrel swivel, and this is probably the most important reason, is because if you have those 2 split shots down here by the hook, by the minnow, that line's going to be more taut, and that minnow might not be able to move and to swim, to wiggle around as much. But if there's nothing resisting him, then he's able to swim around a lot better, making him more lively, and the more chances of you getting a bite and attracting a fish. All right, guys, that is how I rig up my slip cork setup. Now, right now I have the bobber stop at about 3.5 foot or so. So guess what? That cork is only going to go up to that bobber stop. So if you have a brush pile in water of 20 foot deep, and that brush pile comes up to about 17, 16 foot, then you probably want to be fishing at about 15.5 foot. So you're going to want to move this bobber stop all the way up. Now you can use your pole as a judgment. This pole is 8 foot. So if I wanted to be at about 15 foot, I would almost need to be about 2 pole lengths. If y'all enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Like I said, I've had major success with this rig, so I'm hoping that y'all have the same. Y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to 903 Fishing. Y'all have a great day. God bless.